Would you believe me if I told you there was one Jimi Hendrix song that could jumpstart your understanding of the fretboard, the circle of fifths, major chords, intervals, triads? Well, stick around, because there is. The song I'm talking about is Hey Joe. It's a pretty simple song, 5 chords. But the 5 chords are very special, especially if you're talking about music theory, because they just go around the circle of fifths. What do I mean by that? So it starts with this little... And then we go to our first chord that kind of starts the sequence, which is C. From there, we go to G, which is a fifth above C. So here's the first thing you can learn, is that a fifth is this shape. You're going up a string, so in this case, A string, up to the D string. I call it up, going to the floor because the pitches are getting higher. Down is going toward me as the pitch gets lower, whatever. So you're going up a string. From the 3rd fret C, 5th fret G, right? That's a fifth. If you invert that, you can go down a 4th, is the same as going up a 5th. So C and then G is the next chord in the circle of fifths. 5th up from there is D. 5th up from there, or a 4th down from there, is A. And a 4th down is just the same fret going down a string, because the strings are tuned to 4th apart. If you go down a 4th, same as going up a 5th. Ingrain that in your brain. So we got C, G, D, A. We go up a 5th from there. That brings us back to E. And all of the other chords, they're all major chords. So the first thing we'll talk about is a major arpeggio. Now, if you go to MaxHBass.com right now, put in your email, you can get my free intervals worksheet. This is probably the last video I'm going to do that's related to the intervals, and then I'm going to come up with a new worksheet that you can go get for free. And then eventually, I'll post the rest somewhere. Stay tuned. Put in your email, subscribe, like, comment, MaxHBass. Right, major arpeggios, triads. So we'll start with C here, 3rd fret of the A. Our next note is E. That's our major 3rd. And then G, which also happens to be our next chord. You can also go C, E, G, like that. What I did was I played C, 3rd fret of the A string, came down and played an open E, and then 3rd fret G. So you have C, E, G, C, E, G. Those are both options. The next chord is that G chord, so we'll G, B, D, right? We can do that. G, B, D. G, up a 3rd to B, D. And these two string triad arpeggios, they work on any string, any of these 3 strings here. You can start on any note and do that triad shape. It's really good to exercise to do, get that shape under your fingers. Root 3rd, 5th. And you can do it on, like I said, E string, A string, or D string. So in this case, let's go through C, G, then we have D next, 5th fret A, then we have A, the next little tidbit you can learn is passing tones. We should probably talk about the E flat blues, or the E blues scale. Starts with this lick. If you haven't worked on your minor pentatonic or your blues scale, do that now. I don't have a worksheet for that at the moment, but you can find one. Just Google bass. That's pretty much exclusively what you play in the E minor chord in this song. It's just E minor jazz, E minor blues scale. And what I did there is I just started with an A to walk up to that C. There's our first little walk-ups that we can work on. You can walk up A, B, C on the A string. And then you want to do E, F, G, and then B, C, D, F sharp, G, A, C sharp, D, E. Basically going to the third of each chord. And then going up a half step and a whole step up to that next chord note. So basically, what's happening here is when you walk up to the C, you're using the E minor scale. To get that sound, so. A, B, natural, C, right? Now, we're gonna think in the key of C. So not only do we have our C arpeggio, we're going to use notes from the C major scale. So that's why we're going E, F, G. And now we're in the G major, so we'll go G, B, C, D. Now we're in D major, so we'll go F sharp, G, A. And now we're in A major, so we'll go C sharp, D, E. And that brings us back to the E minor blues. So that's the sort of like the diatonic way to do it. The other thing you can do, which is probably more similar to the actual bass line, start on that whole step below the next root note and just do da da da, walk up with half steps. So for instance, I'll do the A B C up to the first one, and then F, F sharp, G, C, C sharp, D. So this is all just a very like jam oriented kind of style of playing that I'm doing here. Noel Redding would have been the bass player on this track, so you can go learn exactly what he did. But the spirit of this style of playing in the blues is that it's largely improvisational, and that goes for the bass parts too. Like knowing the style and the song and how to fit the bass into the song is a huge part of playing the blues and jazz. The final step here is that iconic ending bass line. We'll land on our C, right? And then we'll go down to we'll go to our third, and then just walk up to the next root note by half steps. So in this case, it's C, E, F, F sharp, G. Then we can go down. So what I'm doing there is for each chord, going to the third, walking up by half steps, going to the third, walking up by half steps. If we have C here, it's really helpful to know that we have an E here, 2nd fret D string. So C is 3rd fret A. We have an E, 2nd fret D string, or open E string, both major 3rd. So you can go from C to either of those two E's and just walk up by half steps. So now, depending on which G you end up at, you have a major third here and here. So if you're on the low G, you can go up to this, or on the high G, you can go down to that B. G, B, G, B, or you can go up on the G string there. And then from this D, you can go to the F sharp. That brings us back to E, because I did the sort of glossed over A there, but yeah. If you can ingrain in your brain how to get from each of those root notes to the third, and then just walk up by half steps, there's your next root note. Remember how to get to a third, walk up by half steps, there's your next root note. Remember how to get to a third, and you could do it like... Without even thinking about the notes there, I just went all the way around the circle of fifths. Well, we got C, G, D, A, E, B, F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp, to A sharp / B flat. When you start to understand how chord changes work at this level, that's when it makes transposing or playing in different keys very, very easy. So if you wanted to do this song, let's say suddenly you're playing with a singer who needs to do it like, instead of E, they need to do it in A, right? Well, you start with your A minor lick, right? So the E minor lick was here. So now to do that in A, we have to move up a fourth or down a fifth. And then our first chord now, instead of C, it's going to be F. So C, or F rather, C, G, D, A. So you can see how once you sort of understand the arpeggios and the different and where the notes are located in relationship to each other, in relationship to each other. That's the whole point of intervals. C to E is a third. If you take both of those notes up a whole step, D to F sharp is a third. Go up another whole step, E to G sharp is a major third. Now, minor thirds, they're always the same position relative to each other on the fretboard. No matter what the actual notes are, the intervals are the same shape. Which is one thing that makes piano much more difficult to get into this nitty-gritty stuff than guitar and piano, because guitar and bass, sorry. Because piano, every interval isn't necessarily the same for every note. Because you might have a white key and a black key, you might have two white keys, you might have two black keys. It just depends. Where a fifth is always like that on the bass. On the guitar, you even have that B string in there to mess with your brain. When I started learning guitar after playing bass for so long, that was the biggest mind trip to try to work through, was the stupid B string. It's kind of like I learned clarinet slightly, a little bit, tiny bit, long time ago. And there's this thing called going over the break, where you get to a certain, you hit, instead of an octave key, it has a key that like moves everything by a sixth or something. I don't remember, but it's brutal to remember how it works. And the B string on the guitar was like that. It was like playing over the B string. It was like playing over the break on the clarinet. But I digress. So yeah, hey Joe, go learn it, play along. Reminder, like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know below what you thought of the video, what you want me to do next. Or if you just want me to stop making YouTube videos and I'll just go hide in my room again. Don't forget to go to MaxHBass.com. Get your free interval worksheet. I almost knocked over the camera.